welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and season fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And we have sexy, squeaky post-concert voices today.
Yes.
So you're in for a treat.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's sultry edition.
Yeah. So.
Sultry 17.
Oh, yeah, that works. Yeah, so we saw 17 last night. I feel like this is, of all the post-concert wrap-ups we've ever done, this is the only time we've like literally done one the next morning. Mm-hmm. And I think you can tell that we're
so tired. We're so tired. I said this before we started recording, but I really do think like I'm just equally exhausted and hungover from the excitement and like joy and all of the emotions that I felt last night as I am from the like 5 glasses of wine that we had. So it's just, it's a slow, quiet day.
Yes.
But please don't let that imply that last night wasn't one of the best nights of my life because it was. So just know that I am very excited. And so
Yeah.
I'm just also very tired.
Well, let's reminisce. Let's go through our weekend. We also have some voicemails from you guys who experienced your own 17 concerts in the last week and a half. We'll hear from those in a little bit. But we always talk about our concert attire. This week on Friday night, we put together our new concert outfits.
Yep. And we did them real quick because we both decided to keep it simple this time.
Because KCON was a lot.
KCON it was just really time consuming. It was a simple process, but it was just lengthy.
Yeah, because our dreams were very large for like what we wanted to do. So this year, what I did is I got like a cute little baseball tee with like a sapphire blue sleeves. And then I photoshopped a little picture of my sweet boo in a heart. And I made the background of the heart like the same color as the sleeves. And then just printed that on an iron-on and put him over my little heart where my little heart is. And then I like surrounded the heart in little dots of glitter paint to give it some texture. And then I wrote in Korean over the side, I wrote Uri boo, which means like our boo. And it's something that one of his fanboys always screams at him. And it's my favorite. So I just wrote that there. And that was it. Simple this year. Just get it out.
Yeah, I like that. It was so cute. It came out so well, and it took you like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was so fast.
I was very proud of myself. I was like, look at this, a reasonable objective.
Yeah, it did feel a lot more reasonable this time, I will say, especially since the last project I did took me actual days.
Right.
The sweater you're wearing today, like that took me so long, and I would like stop and I'd come back the next day and be like, how can I fix it? And like, it took so long. But this time, yeah, we kept it simple, much more reasonable. So I got like an oversized white sweatshirt, which I'm wearing again today. And on top of the pocket, I found a photograph of all 13 of them. It's like an early photograph. It's from a couple years ago, but all 13 of them are standing in a line, leaning on the person in front of them. And so I just like cut that out and printed it and stuck it right on top of the pocket of the hoodie. So it looks like they're standing
on it.
Yeah, it looks like they're standing on top of the seam, which worked out well because the frame of the photo like cut off some of their feet. And now you can't tell because it's behind the seam. And then in the corner where would normally be a logo, like a little polo or something, I just painted with blue and pink and white the 17 logo, the little like triangle logo.
She used tape and rulers and everything, so it looks hella legit.
It's really, really exact, and I love it. I thought I did a good job.
You did a great job. So that was Friday. We had outfits checked off the list.
And we also spent some time putting together some little marketing boxes.
Yes.
Shannon we've had our buttons for a while, and then Shannon got some beautiful business cards printed. And so the night that we made our shirts, we also decided to stick some pins on the buttons on the business cards, and they look so cute.
You do look so cute. Stay tuned for potential
volunteer opportunities.
Well, yeah, I got to work out some details, but just stay tuned on that front. Anyway, so that was Friday. And then on Saturday, unfortunately, Angelica had to work. So I tried to conquer my fears to do something I've never done before, which is go to a little K-pop birthday party cup sleeve event.
A birthday party.
Yeah.
Did you say it was a birthday?
I think I did.
I'm sorry. My brain's working at like 70%, you guys.
But I honestly don't know if I said it. I think I said idol birthday party cup sleeve event.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, but I'd never been to one of those before because I honestly didn't realize they were happening as often as they are. Because when I got to this place, they had like a wall of like a wall of fame of the cup sleeves they'd done in the last 6 months. And they had an Onu Mino birthday in December, and they made the cup sleeves with pictures of both of them in their uniforms. And I was like, how did I miss this?
If I had known, we got to start following that coffee shop. Shout out to Cafe Bene on Wilshire in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
They apparently put on a ton of birthday events. So we're going to have to start following them and keep up.
Yeah, so Boo Day LA was the name of the event. It was organized by like a handful of nice fans. My regret is that I didn't know that you could like pre-order the cute like goods that they had made, like the stickers and the fans and stuff. I thought it was like a first come, first serve. And it essentially was after people had. So I should have reserved stuff because I only got a cup sleeve, which is still beautiful. But anyway, they had like decorated the upstairs like study room in this cafe with like all kinds of Boo stuff. There was like yellow balloons everywhere, and the bookshelves in the room they had like covered in like 17 albums and Boo dolls and like standees of Boo. I've never seen his face so many times, like ever. Walking up the stairs, there were like pictures of Boo like lining the staircases, and then there was a whole wall that was dedicated to his Instagram, and there was a whole wall of like gorgeous fan art that people had drawn of him, and they'd printed out little QR codes so that you could like follow everybody. It was so genius. So shout out to everybody who put that on. But I was terrified to go. I like put on my shirt, my KCON shirt that I thought I'd never get to wear again, my like framed #1 Sun shirt. And then I started panicking. And so I got on Twitter and I was like, I need you guys to give me my own advice and tell me to fucking go. And people were like, you'll regret it if you don't. And I was like, that's exactly what I would tell you. So you're right. So I got on the train. I went down there. I was very scared. I like talked to some nice teens behind me in line, but not very well. And then I awkwardly gave like 6 people buttons, and then I circled the room twice, and then I had to peace out. I couldn't do it. I'm really bad at being alone in public, but I tried. But it was really nice to like get to look at everything and like celebrate my son. So I am glad that I went. I am glad that I went.
I'm proud of you for going by yourself. I know it's hard to do those things. And it's also hard, like, to go to those things, but then also to, like, turn to someone and be like, so, like, we both like this thing, obviously. Like, what's your deal? Whatever. That's hard to do.
And I know that it could be that simple, but it feels like it isn't. And I also get the vibe whenever I'm at these kinds of things. Like I feel the same vibe when you like go to Choice Music or whatever. It's like, you know, everybody around you like totally gets you and you could talk about anything. But like, I feel like K-pop fans as a whole might be like socially awkward, like introverted people in general already. And so everybody doesn't want to be the person. I don't know. Anyway. I
have met some extroverted.
Oh,
I feel like
there's
we've
plenty.
definitely met a lot of extroverted K-pop fans, but maybe as a general trend, we tend to be more on the introverted side. But I'm proud of you for going.
Thank you. I'm glad that I went. It was really nice to see, and it was cute. And yeah, now I'm just gonna have to like keep an eye out.
And
for,
now
like,
we
more
know,
of
and
those
maybe
things.
for the next one we can go together.
Yeah. So that was Saturday. That was Boo Day. And then it was concert
Sunday
time.
was concert day.
Before we get into our night at the concert, do you want to visit the voicemail and hear from some listeners?
Let's do it.
Hello. Okay. So, me and my friend, okay, long story short, my friend is a huge fan of 17. Like, Ming Hao's her baby. And so we got tickets to go to the Dallas show. And right now, we're camping out. basically we're not allowed to do it on the property, so they said we can wait in our cars and come out during business hours to wait and then go away and then come back. So I guess there's like a person with a clipboard and they're keeping track and all sorts of stuff. Mind you, I don't really condone camping out, but the thing is, my friend spent like almost my rent money for these tickets. So we're like, okay, well, damned if we do and damned if we don't. So here we are in my friend's car. It's like 40 degrees outside and we're just like, chilling and waiting. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that we stand 17 so much. We're camping in the car. But I really hope you guys' experience for 17 is really fun and all that. So yeah. And yeah, Minghao's great. Okay. Bye. Thanks for all the things that you do on your podcast. I absolutely love it. I look forward to it every Wednesday. And yeah, but we love you from Miranda and L'Oreal. Bye.
Wow, Miranda and L'Oreal camping in a car. I hope you had a great time. I hope you got to stand so close to the barrier and that it was totally worth it.
Yeah, I hope that it was. I've never done that for a concert
Oh,
before.
no. Me either.
But Minghao is great. Next.
Shannon and Angelica, it's Slowpoke Megan. I am currently walking to the Smart Financial in Sugarland to see 17. We just got news that poor baby V8 is not going to be able to perform tonight, but that's okay. His health is more important. I feel like I'm going to throw up. I always feel that way before a concert. But I'm very excited. I'm here with my bestest friend in the world, Kara, and my bestest brother in the world, Xander. All right. We're going to go into the venue. I will try and call during the concert because I think that'd be cool. And I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
Did she call during?
I think it's this.
It's so Megan. I don't know if you can hear me. You can probably hear everybody else around me very well. Megan is on stage. Hold on. Let me see who else. It's hard to see. Can you hear me? This is going to be really awkward for y'all. Oh my god, PK! Oh, I'm going to die. Oh no, I can hear my voice. Wait, does that mean that me and you is on the other side? Oh guys. Oh, they're wearing these beautiful purple pajama things. Oh no, I don't want to walk on stage. What is going on? Okay, I gotta go. Alright guys, I'm gonna go, bye.
Megan, great to hear from you again. You sound like you had a wonderful time.
Yes. I don't know how much of your in-concert email or in-concert voicemail just made it onto the pod just now because it was pretty hard to understand. But
Yes.
I love the commitment.
Yeah, and I do specifically remember that I know exactly which part of the concert you called us during because you have your description of their clothing. But yeah, you sound like you had an excellent time. I know that V8, my baby Minghao, he got sick when they were performing in Texas, so he sat out for the Houston show, and so that was like the weekend before the LA show. So we were a little worried he wouldn't be there, but then he performed in Mexico City on Friday, and he did perform in LA on Sunday.
All right. Before we get to the next voicemail, I just have to point out because it made me laugh. This voicemail thing we use tries to transcript the voicemails.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very wrong a lot of the time. And whenever you guys say V8, it puts V8 juice. It assumes that that's what you want. And I think that's funny.
It also, every single time it transcribes someone saying, "Hey, Shannon and Angelica," it can't decide what you guys are saying, and every single voicemail has it transcribed in a slightly
different way. It's so funny. Okay. Last one.
Hello, this is Jenna, longtime listener, first time caller. I'm just calling because I just finished watching the V Live of 17's O2 concert, and I have so many feelings that I haven't sorted through yet, but mostly I just loved it, and it felt really special to watch it at home because I quite get to a concert. I loved watching everyone. I loved all of the songs. I'm so proud of them. They've grown so much in so many ways, and dancing and vocals, and it was just so great. And I hope you guys had the best time. You're probably watching the encore, and I don't get that with the V Live purchase, and that's okay because I'll probably end up rewatching the concert eventually. Anyways, I hope you guys had so much fun. I loved watching it. I love 17, and I love K-pop, and I hope you have a great, safe, wonderful evening. Goodbye.
Oh, Jenna, it's so nice to hear your voice for real for the first time.
I know.
Yes, our dear friend Jenna, K-pop concerts, they don't always go to a city near you. But 17 live streamed their LA show on V Live. EXO did that too for their last concert. It was like $35 to watch. I don't know how much the 17 one was. That's how much the EXO one was. But yeah, so many people got to tune into that one via the internet, which is a great option. And I'm so glad that you got to see it, Jenna. I thought of you so many times.
Aw. I also saw, and it made me laugh, our friend Natalie also bought the V Live last night, even though she saw 17 like a week ago.
I saw that too. I thought that was really funny. I saw her comment that was like, I just paid real dollars for this. And I was like, didn't you just see them? Like, didn't you already see this concert in person?
But that's just a
That's
testament
how good it is.
to how good the show was. So,
That's
okay.
how good it is. Let's get into
Let's
it.
talk about our experience at the 17 concert. So, I tried to take notes so that Angelica could be fully present.
Yes, and
for
before
17.
we get into like the show itself, though, which I do thoroughly appreciate you volunteering to take those notes. I wouldn't have had I hadn't even thought about it, actually, to be honest. Like halfway through the show, you turned to me and you were like, "Don't worry, I'm taking notes." And I was like, "Oh, should I have been taking notes?" But no. The Lyft driver that
Oh my God, yes, there's a lot
to give
of story.
him a shout out because so we took a Lyft from my place to the Forum, which is where the show was. So it's like a 30-minute ride or so.
And our driver had already taken 2 people to the 17 concert. So he asked us, like, what's going on there tonight?
Mm-hmm.
And as you all know, if anyone opens the door and asks us about K-pop, our favorite thing, then you're going to hear about it. So we spent the entire drive like talking to this dude about like what we love about K-pop.
Yeah, because we told him it was a K-pop concert and he was like, "Oh man, like K-pop's getting really big. Like you guys into K-pop? Like I don't know anything about it or whatever." And he was really like sweet and like genuinely asked us a lot of questions. And so that was really fun that he was like interested in the genre of music itself. But then he also asked us, he like listens to Stitcher. He like uses
Yeah, he knows
Stitcher.
podcast stuff.
And so we talked to him about the podcast too, which was really fun because then we got to talk about like, you know, all the different aspects of K-pop that we cover. And he was like, wow, this is such a like multifaceted industry. Like, I'm going to have to get into it. And then it was like, so what about like this group that you're seeing? Like, tell me about them. And it's like, they're amazing. Like, you have to get into them, man.
Yeah, and then you said he asked about like the experience of K-pop concerts, and we talked about like the fan chants and the light sticks and how it's so wild. And you said the only thing you've ever seen that compares showmanship wise is Beyonce,
Which
he was
I
like,
stand
"Oh,
by."
well, do you know if there's scalpers outside this event? Like, I think I need to see this show with you."
Yeah,
guys."
he was like, you've sold me. Like, I've gotta check these guys out now. And I honestly stand by that comparison. So I like a couple years ago got to see the Mrs. Carter World Tour, I think. She performed at Dodger Stadium and I went by myself, which is the only time I've gone to a concert by myself, and I like made friends with the people around me. So that same like idea of community, like a community of fans was there. And then obviously like the show was impeccable from start to finish. And that's the same as especially a 17 concert. I think this show was like impeccable from start to finish. So like detail oriented and flawless, every note live. And then, of course, like you have people around you who are like loving the same thing. And the girl who was next to us was by herself. And so I stand by my comparison that the only performance I've ever seen that rivals the amazingness of a K-pop show is Beyonce herself. So
Wow. See, yeah, so it convinced our driver. He was great. We gave him one of our button business cards, and he said he was going to listen. So I hope you're hearing this right now.
So shout out to that guy. 5 stars.
5 stars. And another shout out before we get into the show. Before the show, we got to meet a lovely listener named Savannah, and she was so nice, and we had such a nice talk, and she brought a sweet letter for us. And I was so touched.
And she included little pictures, a little picture of the 8 and a little picture of Boo for each of us. And it was so nice to meet her before the show. I think that she was like on the floor.
I believe so.
Because she told us afterwards.
And she sent us these pictures that are so close.
Oh, I didn't see the pictures that she sent. Oh, gimme.
She
didn't see these.
She tweeted that Ming Hao spit, like, threw water
at her. Yes, I saw that.
That's how close.
Oh my God, she's so close. She can see all the hairs on his head. Oh my God, this is amazing. Wow, Savannah. Wow. I'm amazing. I mean, I'm amazing. You're amazing. This is amazing. I'm tired. But wow, this is incredible. I'm so happy for you. She has so many good pictures of Woozie, and so she was wearing a Woozie shirt, and she like had a Woozie fan. So you really got to see him just like up close and personal. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so happy that we got to meet you.
Yes.
Thanks for coming up and finding us in the crowd.
Yes. We love that stuff. Okay. Show time.
The show itself. We had great seats. The Forum, I'd never been there before, but that's where You Saw Got 7.
It is.
And it's a great venue. Like, it's not very big. There aren't any obstructed views. I think it's like
perfect. I was saying to my husband today that I think that like BTS's stadiums aside, I think that like the Forum is the perfect K-pop venue because like the Staples Center works for K-Con because they put the stage in the middle. And the Staples Center is like a sports venue where all the seats are supposed to be looking straight down at the basketball court. So when they put, like at Monsta X, when they put the stage all the way over to the side, then the seats on this are so far away and it's like very hard to fill the Staples Center because it's enormous.
Yeah.
But like the Forum is a perfect size where it's like giant and you can still fit thousands of people in there. But even the highest up seats are like the second row of the Staples Center.
Yeah, exactly. The quote unquote nosebleeds of the Forum, which is where we're sitting for Super M, and I was worried it was going to be really far away.
Like, I'm bringing binoculars.
Yeah,
but we won't need
because I was picturing the Staples Center, which when I look up at the nosebleeds of the Staples Center has like 5 levels.
It's so big,
and so like the nosebleeds of the Staples Center give me vertigo just thinking about being up there. So like that's what I had pictured in my head as the Forum was basically just like the same seating setup of the Staples Center, but like half, right? And like not the whole way around, like just on one side of the stage. But the quote unquote the highest seats in the Forum are like the 3rd row of the Staples Center. So I was like, oh, we're gonna have great seats. We're like, this is amazing. And we had even better seats this time. We were so close.
Yeah.
Incredible view. And the girl sitting next to us, she was there by herself. She'd gotten the ticket as a 16th birthday present, which was so sweet. And she was having a great time. My like heart broke for her at the beginning because her ultimate bias is Scoops, who our sweet leader of 17 is still taking a break for his own mental health. And so she was like, I'm glad that he's taking a break. Like, he deserves it. And I hope that he's resting well. I'm just, I just miss him a lot. And I was like, I get you, girl. Like, it's okay. But she seemed to have an excellent time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So let's get into my notes. So we opened with what I have written down as book VCR. It was like a very slow, very, very slow VCR of the members, like, walking very slowly in like empty deserts, and then there was like close-ups of like books and the pages like blowing.
And like desks and lamps and hands. I don't know.
Book VCR is what I write. Okay, so then the lights are out. The smoke is rising. We're all screaming. Where are they going to come from? Where are they going to come from?
And the whole stage,
where
like,
are they going to come
there's
from?
like a back part and then a little like aisle. And so it kind of looks like a capital I.
Yeah.
Like the English letter I and capital with the like top and bottom. And it's all covered in smoke and the lights turn red.
And then pop out of the middle. It was just Jonghan, just like
Jonghan,
boom.
all by himself. And I was looking at the back of the stage because that's where I thought they were going to come from. So from my perspective, he just appeared as if from, because I didn't see him jump or land. I just saw him standing there and I was like, magic.
And then one by one, members are appearing out of the smoke at the front and the back of the stage, and they all had these huge neck
these
cuff collar things that
absurd
like
collars that
cover
went
their noses
all the way to their nose.
Fashion.
So that when Mingyu started the verse, he had the microphone on the outside of his collar and you couldn't see his mouth moving, but you could hear him clear as day.
So they started out with Getting Closer, and they when they like took off the
Collars.
the big collar things.
Because they weren't attached to the jackets that they were wearing. It was just like a separate piece on
Yes.
top.
They were wearing what we have now decided is like the official current opening act or like opening outfit of the last like 4 K-pop shows we've seen.
Yeah.
Bedazzled mariachi
Bedazzled
jackets.
mariachi jackets. It's the way to go. It's a great look. It catches the light perfectly. And 17 loves to do, so they have like these black jackets with like silver rhinestones and bedazzlements all over them in like all different ways. And then underneath they're wearing just like white, like silky shirts of slightly different styles. And on top of the white shirts, they have like chain like jewelry harnesses or whatever, so that even when they take off the mariachi jackets later on in the show, they still have like bling on their like white shirts to catch the eye. They're all sparkled up.
So yes, they did Getting Closer, and then when they ended Getting Closer, they like all disappeared, and then Jonghan like did like a dramatic run, and then he like jumped into the abyss, like he just like jumped to the floor.
They like, because they all walk to the back of the stage, or they like walk off. They just like come out and like hit you hard with Getting Closer, and then they all leave. And Jonghan looks like he jumps off the stage in the back.
And then they did another VCR where they were all wearing suits, and it was the VCR where they like turn their heads, and it's like DK.
Yeah.
They're like, ugh, Sungkwa. Like they say, it's the intro VCR where everybody gets like a nameplate and everyone cheers. Ah! So that was next, Suit VCR. Then they did Rock My Head.
It's just called Rock.
Oh, it's just called Rock.
And it's from an EP called Boys B, which is from 2015. This is their second EP like ever. So this is a very old song. I've watched several. So I found like a playlist online of all of the V live streams of 17's like previous concerts. So I've seen them do that live. I did not expect them to do it in this particular tour. But yeah, that song is it's not the best 17 song, but it has like grown on me, I will say. Like I like that song, but I acknowledge that it's not a great song.
No, it's a fun concert-y song.
Yeah.
It's just like a fun concert-y
It's
song.
very loud. It's just very loud.
It reminds me of early Monsta X. And like it's just like a Then they did Clap.
Yes, then they did Clap. That's from their second album, Teenage.
Then it was time for the Ment. And then I wrote in parentheses, Hoshi holds court. Because when it like got like, they were just going down the line like, hello, I'm Jonghan, nice to meet you. And then like 3 of them would trickle off backstage at a time. And then when Hoshi got the mic, he like strutted out all the way to the front of the stage and was like making everyone chant Prince at him.
Yeah.
And then he was like, what's my name? And everyone was like, Hoshi! And I was like, this is crazy. Like he was just, and he looked so cheeky doing it. Like he just had so much power and he like loved it.
Oh yeah, and he would like swoosh
Stop
his hands to make everybody stop. And then he would like start it up again. And he had us do like 3 different chants to the point where when he was finally done, like 10 minutes later, and everyone was like, he had just had the crowd like eating out of the palm of his hand. Sung Kwan goes over and is just like, which chant, like how many chants are you going to do this time? Like who are you?
Are you a tiger? Are you midnight? Are you a prince? Like what's your deal?
Like what time is it? Like who's Hoshi? Like what are you? Who even are you anymore? And it was so funny. And he was like trying to make fun of him in English, which was great. They did have a translator who did an excellent job. And the boys are obviously used to touring with this translator because they did a very good job of like saying a little bit and then waiting for her to translate it and then saying it a little bit. But she was just a disembodied voice. She wasn't like, it wasn't like an MC situation.
It was very funny though. Like it seemed like Joshua was very torn because he would start answering in Korean and then be like, and everyone was like, you speak English. And then he would like speak some English and then like go, but like, and it was just like, dude, you don't have to use the translator. Like you can just speak English to us.
And
but he would like,
he even accidentally translated for himself at one point and then like caught himself and sort of laughed, which was adorable. But I think he seemed really nervous. I was kind of surprised that he like didn't talk a lot. Because sometimes he will, like, especially because he is like a good MC and he does that for the group sometimes. So being in his own hometown and like being able to speak English, I am surprised that he sort of didn't do that for them. But he mentioned in his opening statement that like he had some friends from high school that were in the audience and like some family that were there. And like,
yeah, he might have, I feel like a similar thing happened when I saw GOT7 because like Jackson and Mark and Bam Bam, like they all speak English. Jin Young does pretty good too, but nobody but Bam Bam was talking and he was getting so frustrated because like no one was helping him. But like Mark's whole high school was there. Like, so I think he was like too nervous and like didn't want to say anything. Yeah. So like poor Bam Bam had to talk the whole time.
And this isn't the first time that 17 has performed in LA. Obviously, we've seen them at KCON, but this is the first world tour that they've done in LA. So I think it was like a little bit of a bigger performance. And the 17 Carat USA fan club did a little fan project beforehand, and they had made these Welcome Home Joshua banners and had like set them out on everybody's chair before the show started, which was really cool. And so that was really nice. That
it's fun. I got to add another. I have 3 17 fan banners now because of the 3 times that I've seen them, and I have them all hung up.
Oh, you have them all? I think I only have 2. But yeah. I know. Cute. I can't believe we've seen them 3 times.
It's pretty wild. Okay, so then after their Ments and Hoshi then they did Thanks, but it had like an acoustic like Boyz II Men a cappella intro. That was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I loved seeing that live. And then that they did Don't Want to Cry immediately after it was just like too much. I think this was when you were crying for
this
the first
is when I
time.
started. Yeah, this was the first time that I cried. I like fully expected myself to cry at a certain point in this show, and I kind of, because I had been like so excited, and even because we got to the show like an hour before, and like when we got out of the lift, I was like jumping like through the parking lot, like I can't wait, it's gonna happen, it's here. And so part of me was like, tears are just gonna start flowing like when the lights go down, like I'll just immediately burst. Right. But hearing each one of them like talk, and then they ended their Ment by saying like, this next one's like for the fans, like blah, and then they did Thanks, and it was so beautiful, and then they like immediately went into Don't Want to Cry, and I don't know why Don't Want to Cry is the one that got me, because it's not my favorite 17 song, but I do remember seeing like knowing of 17 and watching them do that when they first came to LA for their first KCON.
Yes, that's my intro to 17 is Don't Want to Cry, because the choreo was so impressive.
Yes, it was so impressive. And watching
like,
Woozi do his little like flips around them while he was also singing live. Both like back in whatever year they first came to KCON, and then also seeing them do it again, I instantly, like I just started to cry, and I cried through the whole thing. Ironically, the song Don't Want to Cry.
Don't Want to Cry. But that was wonderful. I loved it, and I love that they did it on the Closer stage, just because I love that song, and it was so fun to see it. Okay. After that, we had, I like my notes, Sad Bed White t-shirt VCR. Murder Wall. There was also a murder wall in the VCR. A murder wall is like a term that my friend Rachel came up, or I don't know if she came up with it, but it's one of my favorite TV and movie tropes, where someone has the wall with the pictures and the string connecting all the clues. It's called a murder wall, and they're great. So there was one in that VCR. I don't know what was going on. But then the VCR ended with like close-ups of the performance team, or
It was
people
like
put-
all of them.
putting
No, it was
harnesses
all of them
on.
putting on harnesses. Because, like I said, under their mariachi jackets, they like to wear like
All their
silver
blingies.
bejeweled harnesses. And so then the VCR ended with them like harnessing themselves up, like strapping in, getting ready for business. But the VCR included all of the members, but it did sort of start to group them. So it implied that we were moving into our unit stages.
Which we were. So first up was the hip hop unit, minus Coops. So it was just the three of them, but I think they
Yes.
held well, and they kept all
did.
his lines in, and they would just like leave a spotlight where he wasn't. Like it was nice. They did Trauma first, and I wrote Leather Wonu because he was wearing like full leather.
Wanwoo's like stunningly beautiful last night. He always is, but
His star
just
is
looks
really
great.
rising. I've been noticing that every time 17 is on TV, he's been like trending in Korea. Like people
Oh,
are very
really?
latched onto Wonu right now because they think he's like an ideal handsome. He's an ideal handsome.
he is an ideal handsome. He's beautiful.
And then they did Chili, which I laughed very hard at because that's like my favorite silly 17 song, and I was
I love
excited
that
to see
song.
them do it.
I
for
love
real.
Chili so much. It's so good. And I do think that they did well, just the three of them. I thought it was really sweet that, the whole performance was live and incredible. Like 17 doesn't need backing tracks, and they like definitely didn't rely on them here. But they did keep in for every single song, Coops' lines were included in the track, which
Yeah.
is nice. They didn't just divide up his parts.
Then, wonderful. Then it was performance unit time. Lily Yabai for the second time in my life in front of my eyes.
And
I
those-
love it.
I can't believe we've gotten to see that twice. They came out in these, like, they were all wearing black, and then they had these like gorgeous, silky, silvery, shiny robes on over their black, and these like ribbons of white fabric had dropped from the sky. And part of me was like, are we about to get some aerial
Aerial ballet?
show
That would be
right
so
now?
fun.
Which would have been amazing. But no, they just did like a sort of extended like dance intro to Lily Yaba, and then we got to see that again. And then they did.
They came out to the front stage to do shh.
Yeah, trust me, whisper, trust me, whisper.
Oh, that was very fun.
I love it. And they took off the robes because they were meaning business.
Now here's the part where I started to get emotional, and this was vocal team because
Yeah.
they did Hug Me, is it just it's just called Hug. They
It's just
did
called
Hug, which is a song that on multiple occasions in my real life, if it comes on a certain day, I will just cry through Hug.
Absolutely. The first, so Hug is on the You Made My Dawn album, which is the same one that has like Getting Closer and Chili and Shh. And the first time I ever heard it, I definitely cried. Like the first time I sat and listened through the album.
And then Don't Listen in Secret again.
That's
which is
my favorite song, our starring moment. Definitely, that was the second time that I cried. Second time I've cried to that song. Second time I cried in this show.
in the show. Next up was something that I had to write question marks about and didn't find out the answer to till after the show. But DK in the hip hop unit did a song called Space.
Yes.
And what is it?
It's from the song Space is from their first studio album, which is called Love and Letter. It came out in 2016. That's the album that has Nice. I just like totally blanked. That's the album that has Nice on it. And so the vocal unit was the last group to do their unit stage. So 4 of them walked off and DK stayed. And then the 3 members of the hip hop unit like came back out and they did the song together, which is a song that just has those 5 members. The 4 members of the hip hop team and DK, which I actually didn't know because I've never seen that song performed live. And it's like a B-side off of their first album. So I've never seen a music video for it. I never like went looking for one. I didn't really think anything of it, but I totally assumed it was a 13-member song.
Right.
13-member song. So I was really surprised to see that live, and I love that song. Keep telling you this, and I'll continue to do it until you buy the album. But Love and Letter is especially the repackaged version. Highly recommend it to anyone who, like, if you don't have 17 music and you're interested in hearing what they do, get that one, because it's all of the B-sides are good and all of the all of the unit songs on it are excellent. Great album. Love and
Wonderful.
Letter.
Next thing I wrote down is Angelica is crying, Smile Flower.
Smile Flower, it's so pretty. That's a full 13-member song. It's off of their album Going 17, which is also very good. That's the one that has Fast Pace and Don't Listen in Secret on it.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent.
Then I wrote
Emotional.
VCR I missed for wine. I went to the bar. What happened in that VCR? Do you remember?
No.
I feel like
I don't.
I mean, we could get to this in a post wrap up, but on the topic, I will say that I found the VCRs for this particular show to be lacking.
I agree.
Because every single one of them was just silence and them like turning over their shoulders and walking slowly. Like there was no like drama. None of them were fun. Like I feel like I've never seen a K-pop show where there isn't at least like one funny VCR.
Yeah, I kept thinking about the Shiny concerts that we've seen. No, EXO doesn't have funny VCRs. No, sometimes they do with like CDX.
The elf thing and the elf shoes. They've done wacky VCRs.
Oh, you're
before.
right. You're right. Those stupid shoes. But I kept thinking of the Shiny one where Mino's like doing the push-ups against the wall. You know what I mean? And he's like in that goofy tracksuit. I think it's to Woof. I don't remember. But anyway, I was also thinking the same thing. Like these VCRs were kind of boring. They were beautiful because it's like they're beautiful. But it was just them being beautiful in like slow motion. So none of them had a plot.
Yeah, and there wasn't anything like sketchy or silly. They were all just like very similar, like high fashion plot. Like plotless, whatever, which is fine, but it's a thing I
Plotless
noticed.
aesthetic videos.
It's a thing I noticed. Okay, so when they came back from whatever VCR that was, now the set said 17 Museum, and there was like columns and like easels and stuff, and they were all wearing like pajamas.
Yeah,
not
they were
pajamas, but Minghao was like wearing pajamas.
Minghao's wearing pajamas, and everybody else is wearing like Minghao's outfit doesn't match anybody else's because it's like navy blue and it's literal striped pajamas, and then everybody else is wearing like cute pastel, like sort of newsboy-ish like slacks with like a button up and suspenders in like a variety of different combinations.
Yeah,
and
very oversized, tucked in. Everyone else just has like oversized, tucked in button downs.
And all in like a pastel color, pastel brown, cream, light pink color palette. And then Minghao is there in his like navy blue
striped pajamas.
Pants. And they're like set up. I think they did one of the year-end shows with a similar stage like setting, because they have these three huge like frames on the stage, and it starts out with them like posing like mannequins like in the frame in different groupings, and they did like a little sketch, and they obviously had like a script prepared, but I just want to play this little clip of when so they obviously had like some kind of script, and they had to say certain lines, but Mingyu decided to go off script and really left Minghao V8 dangling in the wind, not sure what to do.
I think someone is here. I love you. I think someone is really here.
No, what are you talking about?
Talking about the A. Oh my god.
So lost and confused. He just wants to stick to the script, you guys. He learned his one English line. Don't derail him, Mingyu.
So they did Adore You, and then Pretty You, and Oh My in these adorable jammy outfits.
Yes.
And then I Died.
Yeah.
Because they did Just Do It by BSS, but as all of them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't take it.
So they all came to the front part of the stage, and they said, so that song starts with them saying, they call us Boo Soon. And it said, they call us 17. And they like all came to the front of the stage to do it. And that choreography is so fun.
I love that song.
It's so
it made
great.
Me that
Yeah.
part made me so happy.
Yeah.
Okay, then
That
it
was
was
joyful.
another VCR, and this one had like mysterious dartboards and like secret notes and Casablanca something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it was like the boys were in different rooms and like buildings and situations, and they kept finding like this old parchment that had the words written by 17 on it.
written by SVT. That's
yeah,
right.
written by
It was
SVT,
on
and they
all
kept
things.
finding it in different places or like being handed it or handing it to other people. I know like Boo was in the bathroom or something, and he like lifted up the hand towel, and it was like underneath the hand towel.
Yeah, so that was weird. Then they came out again and did Good to Me.
Yes, they changed into their little kimonos that they kimono
those
tops
black
and
and white
cummerbunds.
ones. Yeah.
They did some music show performances in those outfits when they came out with Fear. Oh, it's the music video outfit from Fear where they're
Okay,
wearing
so
the
they did
cummerbunds.
Good to Me and Happy Ending in those outfits. And then I wrote Meant, and then I don't know why I wrote this, but I wrote Excuse Me, Where You Goin'? Like that sounds like maybe something Boo said, but now I don't remember the context. But I wrote it down.
Oh no,
but I don't know
think
why.
I think you wrote that down because they said like this next one is our last song, and then they left the stage. So was that probably like your commentary of like, "Excuse me, where are you going?"
I don't know. I was drunk.
They definitely didn't say anything.
Nobody
like that.
said anything like
yeah.
that.
All I have from my only notes, I will say my only notes are the like 4 messages that I sent to Jenna while I was watching, which were at this point it would be like about 10 p.m. And so the messages were Shua's meant crying emoji, DK's English, get out of here, and that's it. So they just had like a nice emotional ment, and they were really cute. And I guess DK spoke cute English, and they left the stage, and
And
then
then
they
they-
came back.
Well, they did Fear.
Yeah, for Fear.
Oh, okay. And then
They like walked to the back of the stage, and like the lights went down, and then they started up again.
And then we saw the book VCR from the beginning again. More of that. Then they did 19, and I wrote, everybody's shirt is different. Because they were all wearing like t-shirts that said
Oh,
Ode to
yeah,
You,
yeah,
but
yeah,
every
yeah.
single one had like a different logo, a different font, a different color. It was like they all had Ode to You shirts, but they were all like different shirts.
Yes, each one of them was different. So like when they after they did Fear, which was their like closing
Finale.
number. Yeah, their like technical closing number. They left the stage and changed out of their like black and white silky cummerbund shirts and into like jeans and t-shirts. And I wonder if, I mean, I'm sure that all of those shirts are like the merch for the show, but I wonder if each one of them designed one again,
that'd be
because they've
cute.
done that before, so that they have like an individual shirt. But yeah, some of them were black, some of them were white. They all had like different styles of writing. And it was really
I just
cute.
noticed it because I'm used to the K-pop finale. Everyone in the tour shirt, but 2 of them have cut the sleeves off, or like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
everyone has the same shirt on. So I was like, oh, all of their shirts are different. How
Yeah.
neat. And so then the final encore, 19 and Hit.
Yeah, they did the song 19, which is an old OST. Actually, it's not an old OST. It's from 2019. But it's an OST. And then they did like a very lazy version of Hit. They like didn't do the full choreography. But it was still fun to see. And they had played the music video for Hit like before the...
They were playing music videos before the show.
Yeah, but before the show started, they were playing a bunch of music videos, and I guess they had played the music video for Hit. And because by the time they did it for the encore, I turned to you and I was like, didn't they already do this song? And you were like, no, that was the music video before the show started. I was like, I don't know, I'm drunk. But yeah, they did that a couple times and then they like, you know, pretended to go away and then they were like, hit, like, let me drop the, and then they would like come back out like a couple times. And then they really.
Did they do that? I truly don't remember.
They did it at
Must have
least once or twice.
Okay.
Um,
Because I remember at KCON when they did Audrey Nice like 7,000 times and
they
wouldn't
didn't
stop
do it
doing it.
as many times as
Or
they
like
did.
when Astro wouldn't stop doing like it.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
either I was drunk or I didn't know that they kept coming back. Like I've seen other people continue to come back forever and ever.
Well, they didn't do it as many. I think they only did it like once.
Okay.
Once or twice. But yeah.
So
And
that was the show. Overall thoughts, or I know that we all expressed that us and Jenna like expressed some disappointment that there weren't more recent songs performed, like
Yeah.
Snapshoot or 24/7 or anything. Like
Or Network Love. Like I am very surprised and a little bit disappointed that they didn't do a lot of their most recent album, if only because that's just sort of what I expected.
right, because that's what's new. You'd think
Yeah,
that's what
you
they
would
be
think
doing.
that they would be touring there, especially because it's called an ode. The concert is called An Ode to You, and so I just assumed that they would be doing most of those songs. I definitely assumed that we would get to see Snapshoot, and I'm really surprised that they didn't choose to do that as at least like an encore song. But yeah, most of the music that they did, like they did a huge variety of things as far as like they perform songs that are from like all of every single year of their career is represented in this set list. But and I don't know, I guess in the like previous concerts that I watched, I never paid it because I watched them as a playlist. I never paid attention to what albums were on it or like what albums had just come out that correlated with that concert tour. So it's like always been a kind of medley of their whole career. But I'm sad that I didn't get to see. I really wanted to see Snapshoot and I really wanted to see Network Love.
I wanted you to see or Moonwalker or whatever.
Yeah, I
because
would
you've
have. That's
never
the
seen
one that I've never seen. It's the one I've never seen live. Moonwalker is a performance unit song from the Oh My album, the You Make My Day. And that's like one of the performance unit songs that I've never seen live. But it's okay. I can always watch their album showcase in order to see 24/7 and Network Love. It's fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had a great time. I thought it was a great show. I mean, they were destroying. Like they all did so good. But like overall as a show, I don't know, I feel like it went by very quickly. Or like I said with the VCRs or whatever, unlike other shows I've seen, there wasn't like huge changes in like tone or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they did the museum part that was like a little
that was
silly,
more lighthearted.
but I don't know. And there wasn't anything like nobody did any cover songs or like they didn't mix into a weird unit for a special stage. Like, I don't know, it was just very straightforward. And like they did a lot of the like older classic songs that you want instead of doing new things. I don't know. It was just kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And I mean, 17 is such they are such impeccable performers. And they obviously like do a lot of work to like put out the image of themselves as a group, that like a very specific image of themselves as a group. So it makes sense to me that like I guess this looking at this set list now, I think it probably is more of like a representation of them and their career and like where they are now. And it was flawless, like from start to finish. Every note was live. Like the dancing was amazing. At a certain point in one of the months, I think it was was it Songkwan that like said, "Oh, is that when you messed up to like Hoshi or Mingyu or
I
something?"
don't remember, but somebody said something about messing up. and I
Yeah,
didn't
somebody,
believe them.
one of the members called out another member for supposedly like making a mistake in one of the songs, and I was like, "That's ridiculous! Like, there's nothing. I would never have noticed even a hair out of place." And you sort of mentioned how like after the show, you were saying how there really wasn't any kind of like bullshitting, you know, like there wasn't a lot
there
of
wasn't
like
a lot of
goofy
bullshitting.
banter.
I feel like every other K-pop show I've ever seen, like and especially because there's so many of them, I would have expected it. The kind like because it would happen for 45 minutes of Shiny concerts,
Yeah.
where two people go change clothes and then the ones left on stage like just bullshit and like banter
Yeah.
with the crowd, or like in Monsta X they play like the water bottle flipping game.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just very like informal and everyone's like razzing on each other. But I feel like there was none of that. Like the men's were mostly very straightforward, other than like Hoshi messing around.
And there was that one meant in the like toward the end when they were sitting on the back like platform, and they had us do the
Oh yeah.
the
to
cha cha
you.
to you, yeah. But yeah, they didn't go off script a lot, I
Yeah.
guess, is the idea that like they had a very specific plan, you know, like a tight ship, tight 3 hours, and we're out of here. Which I like respect that performance, like showmanship or whatever, and that like professionalism. It was amazing to see. It was just incredible. And there were so many fun, like, people in the audience. Like, they got really dressed up. There was that one girl who was she came as, like, Carrot Bong cosplay. She was wearing all white, and she was wearing a blue wig with a little, like, pink diamond in her hair. It was really cute. I also noticed in the crowd that there were a lot of fanboys, which was fun. We saw, like, walking around after the concert, a lot of, like, groups of just boys. Like, not, like, a boy that got, like, dragged along with a group of friends, but like a whole group of guys that just went to the show together. Right behind us, there was a guy that at the beginning of the show, or before the show started, he had like gotten a phone call, and I overheard him on the phone being like, "Oh, like, sorry, man, like I got invited to like go to this concert tonight, so like I can't see you or whatever." And so I had kind of just like assumed in overhearing that conversation that maybe he didn't really know the group, and he had just like, "Oh, I have an extra ticket. Like, you want to come?" But he was dancing and singing along and having such a great time the whole time. It was so fun. It was just great.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Yeah.
great. It was a great crowd. I loved the sheer amount of light sticks.
There were so many light sticks.
I will say that I was like a little sad though that there was no fancy to the light sticks, and a lot of people had theirs turned to be like red or whatever, probably so they can like look at videos later and see themselves or whatever. But I wanted them all to be the same color, and it was like annoying me that some people had like changed theirs.
Oh, yeah.
because like at SM shows they force the color on you. Like,
yeah, they like
they
sync
pick.
up the light sticks, and that's kind of what they did at KCON too when they gave us all the
All those
bracelets.
wristbands,
That they were like synced all together so that the crowd would have like patterns of color. And this was like that most of them were white, and there were just like a couple that were a different color.
Right.
But they didn't have any kind of like
They didn't
sync
blink or do anything
like that.
They just were.
But there were so many of them.
But I also saw someone with a shouting star like
Yeah.
way over to our left. That always makes me laugh.
Yeah. 17 would be proud. Hoshi's a huge
Oh
shovel.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Love to see it.
You love to see it. Well, I think that's all there is to say. We had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
You can tell by how tired and brain dead we are that 17 blew our minds.
Absolutely. melted our brains away. I'm going to go home and just go right
Go back
back
to sleep.
onto my couch.
So I'm so happy for everybody who's already gotten to see 17 this year, and for everybody who's about to see them in the next couple of weeks.
Get ready, y'all.
I hope that y'all had as much fun as we did, or will have as much fun as we did. And good work, 17. Please take a nap when you're done with this.
Yes. I hope
Please.
that you guys finish this tour strong and healthy, have so much fun, and then go back to Korea and sleep and rest for like a month. And then you can start working on whatever else you want to do.
Agreed. All right. And with that, we'll be right back with our random game. All right, we're back. And we're truly shook by the random game group for the first time ever.
Yeah, I am surprised.
We have very little information, but the information that we do have has shook us to our core.
It's given me a lot more questions than I started with. So we got a boy group named NOM or NOM. And there seems to be some disagreement on the internet of whether or not NOM stands for Nature of Man or No Other Man. But either way, they debuted in 2013 as originally 5 members with a company called JM Star Entertainment.
And they lost a member in 2014, one in 2015, replaced both of them, and then they disbanded in February 2016. But the thing about this group, why we are so shook, is that every picture that we have seen so far
and several fan descriptions
are claiming that this was like a homoerotic group that performed in gay clubs. And every picture of this group we can see, these boys are in little bitty underpants, so much makeup, high heels.
Yeah, like platform go-go boots while wearing pretending to play tennis in a whitey tighties. And one of the fan accounts was like talking about how they wished that the music videos focused more on the music and less on their bodies, the bodies of the boys. So I don't really know what to expect.
I don't either, but one of the thumbnails on YouTube says NOM concert opening, and there is just like full leather daddies in tiny underpants
and
strutting downstairs in like
platform
gimp masks.
High heels.
There's like so much happening. I don't even know what to think. I can't believe this existed and that I've never known about it.
Yeah, I can't either. But they didn't exist for long. They're JM Star Entertainment announced on February 1st, 2016, that the group had disbanded. It didn't really say why. It just said that they were no longer going to be active, and that 3 of the members were getting ready to stand in front of fans again with a new look. And those 3 members were photographed with another group called Seven Stone. But I don't know if that group ever actually debuted. This article's kind of old, and I didn't look into it, but we'll see.
I think we gotta see this.
Yeah.
So the music video, their most popular music video, they only put out 2 ever, has 71,000 views. And the song is called Nature of Man, like the group. And this thumbnail immediately has like a guy with yellowed blonde hair in a cage. So anything could happen, really.
Let's
go.
Let's find out. Very, very,
Creepy
very
doll
scary
immediately.
doll. A girl is walking through.
No, I hate this.
Walking up some creepy stairs, and there's a very scary doll. Suit of armor. Oh
my God.
Shirtless man.
And the breathing.
Exercising.
Ugh, this breathing. Okay, push-ups. Virgin Mary's statue.
We haven't seen any of the members' faces, but we have seen all of their abs. Oh, there's a face.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
He's like voguing while another guy they're drinking red wine out of champagne flutes, which is horrible. Stop showing this doll!
Oh my God, those shoes.
Crop vest, high leather boots.
But this woman is like in a wedding dress, and her husband is wearing a vest with no shirt on underneath, a cropped blazer, and very tall patent leather heels.
Oh my God.
Shirtless and
so
dancing
gay.
in the strobe with the...
I'm aghast.
Oh my God! What would 17 think? There's
Okay,
also
the
a lot
song
of
is,
fake
like, stopped.
tattoos.
So that they can just
Wow,
like,
do you think that
grind.
back piece is real?
It might be because it's like showing in all of his outfits. Whoa, what is
What?
happening?
One of them is in chains and there's like bare hairy legs walking.
Oh my
What is
god.
happening?
Holy shit.
Oh. Ah! You guys, this has to be seen to believed.
Yeah, this is the time where I'm
Look
telling
this
you
up
we
right
cannot describe
now.
this to you.
Right now, pause and pause us.
Oh no, the bride is dead and covered in cobwebs! Oh, the doll! Oh no, he's dancing with a corpse
With a
bride.
corpse.
While somebody else is like humping the air in his like leather pants. Oh, the breathing!
Oh my god, you cannot cut shots of a corpse bride with someone doing shirtless push-ups.
Oh my God.
This cobweb corpse bride.
Oh, and now he's just like yelling at a statue, and we're back to the dominatrix dragging. Oh, yes, work, honey.
Fan kicks.
Those
Okay, these
shoes.
are just shots that have already been shown.
Yeah. No new footage, just reshooting it. Oh my god.
Also, this song is nothing. Oh, there's only 4 boys in this.
Oh my god. I don't
I
even know what to do with that.
Yeah. Huh.
I mean, like, huge props for trying something in a very like homophobic society to try to like.
Sure.
I mean, I'm
Doing
not
something
like.
different and it was interesting.
It was surely interesting. It was surely interesting.
I'm kind of, I will say, like, I almost don't even really feel like this song fits the definition of K-pop aside from the fact that this group is Korean, because there was no synchronized choreography. It was just like them dance. Like, it honestly just looked like they were freestyling. Like cage dancers in a club,
Yes.
right? Just like grooving to the beat.
Yeah.
The song itself doesn't really follow any of the like compositional patterns or structures that K-pop songs usually do. There was no rapping. There was not even really like a chorus or a bridge. It was kind of just like weird ambient club music.
H&M music.
It was very, very different from maybe anything we've ever gotten on the random
Yes. I'm very different
Yeah.
because I do think it does fit if the reports, because again, we found so little information about this group. If the reports are correct and this is a group that performed in gay clubs, then it makes it makes so
Yes,
much sense
it
because
does,
they
it
are
does.
just like go dancing and
Yeah.
like you could imagine it like on a club
Yeah.
stage, like it makes sense. But yeah, as something that would compared to every other random game we've ever done.
This is wildly out of the box.
It sure is. It sure is. But yeah, I think I feel like we're just so shocked because you just like don't see this thing. We've seen a million like girl groups that were put together like just to like do softcore porn videos.
Yes, we
basically.
have. Those are pretty disappointing.
And so this like a boy version of it is just I just feel so shook.
a boy version of it that is not for the female gaze,
Right.
Because when those girl groups are put together to be softcore porn, that's for men entirely. And this softcore porn group of boys, this is not for women.
Yeah, this is for men as well.
Definitely not for women. So that's fun.
Yeah. I mean,
I love to objectify a
revolutionary.
man. So thanks, NOM, for
Yeah.
my daily dose of male objectification.
Maybe someday someone else will, say they were inspired by this. Like, I don't know, maybe Nature of Man meant something to someone somewhere.
Maybe.
Well, all I know is I can't wait to watch whatever this.
I can't wait to watch this concert
video is.
opening and just, yeah, this is going to be wild, especially in comparison to like the concert that we saw last night.
Yeah.
And then to just be like, this is what a concert could be.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see it. Do you have a recommendation this week?
I do actually. My only recommendation is because I was surprised to hear it last night, and because I do think it is very good, I will recommend the song "Space" from Love and Letter, which is by the Hip Hop Unit plus DK. It's really good. It's very like calm and relaxing. It's a great B-side. That's my specific recommendation. But I also say like, if you're listening to this now and you've never heard 17 or you only know their newer stuff, please listen to the Love and Letter repackage album. It's fantastic.
That's great. I'm going to buy it on the way out the door so that I can listen to it on the way home.
Trust me. Trust me.
Woo woo. My recommendation is for a video that absolutely made my week this week. It is on the 17 YouTube channel, but the magazine 17, not the group 17, so it's confusing. But the video is called 17 Plays Superlatives. I think maybe by the time this episode comes out, there might be the second half with the other half of the members, but the one I'm recommending specifically is the only one I've seen so far, which is 17 Plays Superlatives with Mingyu and Hoshi and Boo and Woozy and June and Vernon. That's the gang. Anyway, Vernon looks like he absolutely can't stand any of them and would like rather be anywhere else. Boo says some of the funniest things he's ever said. It's just quality.
Yeah.
It's just a quality video, and it made me laugh so hard.
It is very funny. I will say, like, even as a hardcore 17 fan, they have, so like they get chosen, they get like questions like, who's the biggest flirt? And then they have to like pick from like heads on popsicle sticks, like who is the biggest flirt or who's the messiest or whatever. But all of the little popsicle stick heads that they have are them with brown hair, and even knowing like all of them, I couldn't tell them apart sometimes. Like when they would put up the little heads, I just like always thought it was Mingyu. I don't know. I couldn't tell them apart in those tiny popsicle heads, but that was a great video. Yeah. Good questions from 17 magazine and great answers from 17 the group.
Love it. Okay, that's it for this week. If you would like to get in contact with us, see some videos from this concert, at AMAKPopPod on Instagram and Twitter, AMAKPopPod@gmail.com for emails. I'm melting. It's like all, here we go. Almost done.
You're so close.
Ask me about K-Pop, the podcast on YouTube. The voicemail, 81 AMAKPop5, if you want to leave us a voicemail. And one thing I wanted to say, because people keep messaging us about it. We haven't talked about Chen yet because that news came out after we recorded banked episodes.
Yeah.
And I want to wait for the dust to settle. So.
And this episode was not about Chen. This episode was about 17. So this was not the appropriate context for it, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, we're definitely aware.
Yeah.
We'll say something.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it sometime. We'll be back next week with some fun stuff, and then another concert wrap up from us for Super M. Yes. So if you're going to be at Super M, find us. We'll have buttons, and we'll have an outgoing friend who's going to force buttons around upon people.
And if you're willing to force buttons upon people, if you are an outgoing person and are going to be at the Super M concert and maybe wouldn't mind handing out some buttons for us, let us know, and maybe we'll give you like a little bundle.
Yeah, we can.
And we would greatly appreciate the help.
Okay. I'm gonna go now. We need a nap. So we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Okay. I know we said that we were done and we ended the whole show, but we have to come back because we did watch the weird concert performance that we said that we were going to.
Yes.
And the comments led us to find out how this whole thing happened.
Came to be. So apparently The group that we watched their music video, they are NOM, Nature of Man.
And everything we said about the gay concept and the music video, like all of that was indeed correct.
That is true. But the statement I read from JM Star Entertainment was about a different boy group called NOM, No Other Man.
That's probably the group that was on my list.
Supposed to be in the random number
Yes.
generator. So we'll keep them there in case we get them later. And we won't tell you a lot about them now, but we just have to pop back in to point out that we were crossing some wires.
And that's why we saw what we saw, but it was too fun and we have to keep it in.
And I still stand by that needs to be seen to believed. So if you
Absolutely.
haven't already turned us off and pulled that up, then do it right now.
Okay. Goodbye for real now. Jonghyun, you're our inspiration.